Well, now when it comes to impression, that's a whole new animal, because both the Grandmaster and the Stallion were starting with an original car. And impression started with just a napkin sketch, where I went to dinner with Ken Reister. We were talking about building another car for Ken, and he said he wanted to build like a 36 to 40 Ford. So I did several sketches, and we picked on this one where I kind of picked a 34 style body with 36 fenders, mid-30s European influences. And then we actually built a quarter scale model, sectioned that, built a wooden buck. We built the frame, we built all the suspension, we actually hand shaped the entire body, and every single component on that car is hand built, other than starting with an LS1 motor, 700 R4 transmission, and a center section from a Corvette in the rear end. I used 34 Chevy gauges and changed the colors on them, but every component is handmade for that car. The best part of impression is the fact that we weren't having to work around existing lines. I got to design what I wanted to build. There is no place on that car that you'll find a piece of sheet metal or a bracket that is bolted to another surface. If there was something that needed to be bolted to a surface, that surface was sunken and that piece was bolted in, radius to fit, and every single line on that car, inside, outside, underside, everywhere, is treated like a door gap on a car. There is nothing that isn't flush with just a line through it. I chose a color that was very muted. I did not want the color to be the statement of the car. I wanted the car to be the statement. The other reason for this is it's timeless. It's just a beautiful color, and when somebody's going to spend this kind of money on a car, I don't want them looking at the car 5 years from now saying, wow, that color really dated the car, I need to change it. And the other thing is I also studied Ken Reister's wife, Leela. I looked at the color of clothing that she wore, I looked at the way she decorated her house, and I knew that she would like this color. Because I'm building it for Ken, but he's got a wife, and you got to make the wife happy too. And she absolutely loved the colors on this car. I chose that real deep green, kind of an olive, almost gray canvas top, and we used that color even into the seats. And I really tested Jim Griffin on that one because I wanted to use these little V8 logos, and out of the V8 logo comes a French seam. In front of the V8 logo is the same piece of material, but there's no seam in it. And when I asked him if he could bring a French seam out of a piece of material, starting from a logo, he says, well, I've never seen that done, because usually you're cutting the material, sewing it together, and then stitching on both sides of it. This is something where we had to cut the material, cut a V out of it, be able to wrap it, then sew it together, put the V8 logo and stitch around it. And it was a real test, but we were able to do it. And there's 7 pieces of that example through the car. You know, I've never done the research. I don't know if there has ever been another complete concept car that has won the Ridler, but it'd be nice if this was the only one.